Hello everyone, my name is Alessandro and this is the Temple of Surf, the podcast. We will give you full access to the best surfers, skaters, shapers, surfboard collectors, shop owners in the world. Discover with me their stories, the greatest successes, amazing behind the scenes and much more. Hello everyone and welcome to the 14th episode of the Temple of Surf, the podcast. I would like to thank the thousands of you that are now following us. Today with us from San Diego, California, the legendary Bird Huffman, owner of the iconic birdsurfshop. Let's discover more about him, about this legendary place, and much more. Hi Bird, and welcome to the show. Where are you today?
Today, right now, I'm sitting right in my surf shop. I'm about an hour away from opening it up. You can probably hear the phone ringing. They already want to talk to me.
Already? My God, that's good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's good to be back open. We just opened 3 days ago, and it's been very, very, very busy the first 3 days of reopening after the close down, the shutdown.
How is the time over there during coronavirus? I mean, people can go to the beach, can go to surf, or how's it going?
It's going better now. The government finally let people go back to the beach, and they started surfing about 2-3 weeks ago now. You have to be careful where you surf. You know, you have to mind the rules, the social distancing as best as you can. They just let people go back to the beach, I think, maybe yesterday or the day before. And they just let me open up, as I mentioned, 3 days ago. So, it's moving along slowly.
It's good for business, because I guess there are a lot of small businesses that are really suffering for the fact of being closed. And so a certain time, of course, with all the precaution needed, it's good to reopen and to go back to a new normality or a new reality, right?
Yeah, it's going to, I think I'm positive thoughts about it. I think that we will learn a lot by the mistakes that were made, and we will learn a lot about what we needed to know. And I think things will be better in the future, actually. So, let's get on with life.
Yeah, I agree with you. So today we talk about surfboards, of course, your amazing shop, and of course, surf. But the first question that I have for you is, in your opinion, what is the most important thing in surfing?
That's simple, because the most important thing in surfing is what I have based my whole life upon, and that is the surfboard. The surfboard is the most important thing in surfing.
Why you say that particularly?
Because it's the genesis of everything that has become about. You know, from the time the first person, whoever that may be, Polynesian, African, whoever, I don't know, from the time they stepped on a board, literally probably a board to go surfing, the whole world as we know it has changed. If you think about it, from that one moment when that one person stepped on that piece of most likely wood, the world's changed.
Yeah,
that's a pretty significant thing.
Yeah, and dramatic innovations have been done across the years, and it's still possible to innovate in surfing, in your opinion?
Oh yes, I see it every day. Here in the shed, I have surfboards from the 1920s, and then I'm working currently with people that are so futuristic, that they are dealing with aerospace materials, as well as designs that will change surfing even more as we know it, especially in the fin department. I think surfboard fins are very, very overlooked. And the more people understand about how they act on a surfboard, and the more they're willing to try that, I think that it will be one of the next things that will really, really advance people surfing. And it doesn't cost a lot of money. Surfboards, if you buy a new one, they can be $600, $700, $800 over here. And, you can buy different sets of fins for far less than that. And it can make the surfboard you already own ride completely differently. Yeah. So I think it's a good addition.
In your opinion, is there like a new shaper, a young shaper that deserves to be quoted nowadays?
Well, I think the most innovative person that I've ever dealt with in surfing, to be honest with you, literally, and he's not young and he's somewhat well known, would be Daniel Thompson, a.k.a. Tomo. Obviously, people know about his designs, but really the stuff that he's done has been revolutionary. And I think that the formulas that he works off of, surfing is soul in a lot of people's mind as well. I mean, it's like the hands-on approach. But if you can interject some theory behind that and some science behind that, still keeping the soul, I think that's where the innovation is going to really come from.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. You need to innovate while keeping the soul. It's very important.
Absolutely. It takes both.
Yeah. Do you remember your first surfboard?
I do remember the first board I ever had was one that my brother made in wood shop. It was a pipo, a little wooden, like a skimboard kind of thing with a fin on the bottom. That was the first board that I ever owned myself after he got his real surfboard.
And you still have that board?
Unfortunately, no, I let it rot. It was laying around my family home for so many years, and it was just sitting outside in the wood. It just rotted into the dust.
Oh my God. But anyway, it's the destiny of almost all the first surfboard of the people that I interviewed. Very few of them, they were able to keep the first ever surfboard. So it's good that they maybe find new place, a new home, or they just get lost in the
yeah. Well, the interesting thing is that I have about 1,200 surfboards in my personal possession, and probably 30-40 times people have come into my shop and they have found their first surfboard.
Yes, and
so
it's very important, right?
Yeah. And my thing here, my shed credo, is that if somebody comes in and they find their first surfboard, or for that matter, if they come in and they find any board that was theirs and they can prove it was theirs, they can have it. Because I feel that the surfboard is so connected to the person that it's not a matter of the money whatsoever. That person, if they want it, can have that surfboard back and hang it on their wall, or hopefully go surf it, or maybe let their kids surf it. So it's satisfying.
That's amazing of you. Congratulations. I didn't know about that. That's a good.
Oh yeah, I mean, this friend of mine came in and she found her first surfboard was a lightning bolt hanging on the wall. And I go, "How do you know it's your surfboard? Tell me, how can you prove it to me? I'm not going to tell you you're a liar, but it's been 30 years since you've seen this board." And she goes, "Oh, well, when I first got it, I put a sticker on the bottom of it, a little lightning bolt Hawaiian sticker on the bottom of it. So I took it down from the wall, I dusted it off, and there was the sticker." Amazing stories happen here.
You have 1,200 surfboards, as you said, but if you have to pick one as the most representative of your collection, or the one that has a very special meaning for you, which one you would pick?
I have a board that's the most important to me. Very interesting story. It's kind of sad but uplifting. I have a caster. There was a local shaper named Bill Caster who was my mentor, my partner, my friend, who passed away in his early 40s from a cancer. But he was a brilliant shaper, and he made me a balsa wood board. And he got about 80% finished with it before he got too ill to complete the board. So I had his brother-in-law, Hank Warner, who was another local legend surfer that shaped for G&S and for Hot Buttered Surfboards. I had him finish it up, and then I had the board completed. So that board personally means more to me than any other board that I have.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Your shop is an iconic place for all the surfers, surf aficionados in the world, actually. Do you remember the day you first opened? And have you ever imagined to be where you are? Where are you today? Almost.
No, I really haven't. It's again a lot of interesting stories about here. But I started working at surf shops when I was 12, and I'm 63 years old now. So for however long that is, 51 years, all I've ever done is worked at surf shops. So when about 10 years ago, when I started this shop, after I left a partnership that I was involved with, I wanted to go back to my roots of surfing, and that was based upon surfboards. I looked at all the boards at that time. I had 800, 900, And I figured, there's a reason that God has let me gather all these boards. I need to put these out there, and I'm going to do it. So it was based upon literally a prayer and a hope that people would appreciate it. Because my location is far inland. I'm in an industrial area. I'm not right on the coastline. I'm not at the beach. I'm about 3 miles from the ocean. So if you want to come here, you have to find me. And no, never in my wildest imagination would I have expected it to be as popular and, more importantly, as necessary as it has become.
Yeah, you are iconic. I would say.
I'm not, but what surfing is iconic. I'm just like the small little dust, the piece of sand on the beach, because it takes everybody. People have this idea. They walk in here and they want to pat me on the back and how great I am, whatever. I never, ever, ever have looked at it that way, because so many people have helped me get to where I am then, now, and since. All my friends that are shapers, board builders, my friends who come in and drop off boards, customers that come in to support me. So, I mean, I might have the key to the door, but the shop is really the people shop.
Yeah, I like the way you're saying, because people are at the center of everything, and if you can give back to them or make their experience something memorable, and definitely they will always come back, or they will consider you as a reference in their life. Maybe they will talk about you with their sons and their kids, and it generates a different relationship than just a surf shop, right?
Absolutely. I mean, after 51 years of working, selling surfboards, designing surfboards, working within the surf industry, I have grandfathers bringing kids in, so I'm talking, 2 or 3 generations of people. And it's very, very satisfying to see people that want to come in and learn whatever they want to learn that's truthful about surfing. One of the main goals here is that they get authenticity. I won't talk about something unless I am 95% sure that what I'm speaking about is correct. If there's somebody posing me a question about something I don't know about, I tell them, I don't know. I'll go try to find out. I love digging. If they ask about a certain brand or a shaper, I'll go look and try to find the answer for them and get it to them. But I don't like just to work off of hearsay. If somebody says that somebody says that somebody says, I don't say. I have to hear it from the person, or I have to hear it from somebody who's directly involved with that person before I will speak of it.
Sure, I think it's great. If you know, if you don't know, you will you just inform yourself.
It has to be authentic. You got to keep it real.
Yeah, I agree with you. In the last 10 years from the opening of the shop, you have definitely seen an amazing or crazy, funny, special stories. What is your favorite one?
Ooh, oh man, that would be, I'm not even sure I can answer that question. You have to give me, we got no time. We're not in a hurry here. Let me just kind of spin this through my mind. Well, in general, what's been meaningful for me, just it's an ongoing story, is the fact that so many surfers now embrace all types of surfing. It's gotten out of, well, you got to ride a shortboard, or you got to ride a hardboard, or whatever you ride when it gets down to it. If you want to ride a inflatable raft, a boogie board, you want to body surf, you want to ride a hand plane, that's all surfing. That's to me personally, that's all good. I might not appreciate some of the types of surfing as much as other people. I'm pretty fundamental on what I like. But bottom line is, riding a wave is a way of an enjoyment. And watching people that have evolved in the surfing, especially the younger generation coming in and taking the old boards out, rediscovering from the old, incorporating that into the new, that has been probably one of the most amazing things that I've witnessed.
Do you think that the surfing world, let's say, improved versus the past, or it regressed?
No, it's absolutely the best it's ever been. Again, the wealth of knowledge out there, the availability of being able to reach back to the past. A lot of times in surfing, ideas have come along and they were really good ideas, but then another idea would become more popular and then they'd forget about that last idea. So now people can go back, they can take a fish and then they can work on that fish design and modify it. They could go back to an old heavy longboard, work off of the principles and the fun things of a longboard, and then, add things to it that maybe are a little bit more modern, or just enjoy that board for what it is. So it's evolving by going back in history. You look back, you have to know where you've been to move forward. So I think it's just getting better every day.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Even wave pools, even some guys hate wave pools. I'm all like, open your mind, let people surf where they can surf. Just because you can't live by an ocean, or maybe you don't want to, just don't bag on somebody. Just let people do their thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually had an interview 2 days ago with Tom Carroll, and
Yep.
he was telling me that in 1983, 84, where he won the world title, one of the steps of the stops of the world title championship, it was the wave pool somewhere in America. I don't remember the state, and it was remembering that as something special, right? It was.
Yeah, I think it was Pennsylvania, some weird spot like that.
It was definitely something unique. It was not really the ocean, but still a good experience like many others. So
yeah, like I mentioned, there's not a lot new in surfing, like it's like groundbreaking. Really, it's a lot of old that is being reinvented. But yeah, shoot, I think it's all good.
Good. And looking back, what was your greatest achievement?
Just lasting for so long, for being involved in something for over half a century, and to still be stoked on it. To not burn out on it. To wake up every morning and feel blessed to be able to come to work after 51 years of doing it. That's a pretty good achievement. To be able to bring my family into it, and ultimately, in a nutshell, probably my greatest achievement is turning on thousands and thousands of people to good surfboards.
Yeah, and if you had to say your secret of success, if you want to call it that way, I think as much I heard you today is sincerity and openness to people. Is there something else?
Absolutely. As honest as you can be. God's number one in my life, so he's always helped me, and it's a lot easier when you've got him as a guideline to follow through. But you want to be truthful with people, and you want to treat people better than you expect to get treated yourself. Some people go, okay, treat me, I treat you. For me, it's always treat them better. Always give them something more. Make them feel that much more special, because we're all special, and we need to have that. We need to get that reaffirmation. I don't care if it's somebody who's never surfed before, or I don't care if it's our friend Tommy Carroll that you mentioned coming in the door. Everybody likes to be patted on the back, and I always try to assure that people walk out feeling good.
Yeah, it's the human part of the business that makes the difference. At the end,
it's a beautiful part. It's a beautiful part.
Look at today, we are separated because of the virus, but the small little things, the human touch is the one that makes the difference in the world, right?
Oh, bro, you nailed it. The human touch. That's exactly what it is. Isn't that funny that right now, when we cannot physically touch people like we used to, the human touch of you and I speaking, or of communications, be it a hand wave or a look across the street at somebody, we've actually become more human because of this pandemic. So yeah, you nail it. The human touch. I like those words.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Tell us about your future plans. What's next? What are you planning?
Well, during the downtime, I got together with my son-in-law, Ben, and my good professional photographer buddy, Chris Park, and we finally started shooting all of my surfboards.
Oh,
So
wow.
far, we've shot 450 of them, and he shot them all professionally. So I'm going to start a new, an online site where I can post all the boards and the background on the surfboards. And at the same time, I've got probably 30,000 magazines. I'm going to incorporate that onto a site. So I plan on building a little bit of an educational, historical site with a little bit of a commerce, back into it. If people want to buy the old magazines, we could sell them that. Some of the boards I show will be for sale. And then, the majority of it will be for informational use. And then that way people can ask me. Every day I get emails or people call me up wanting to know the histories of a board they found in the trash or the garage or their dad's board. This will be a platform where I can communicate with them and where that knowledge can go to a wider audience. So that's my next goal, and I see that taking me to the end of my life. That will never end.
I think it's a great project. In effect, in a certain way, much smaller, of course. The podcast at the beginning, it was created to put together the biggest surf collector in the world, or not the biggest surf collector in the world, the surf collector in the world. Because I think out there are a lot of people. They collect surfboards. Some of them they have hundreds, thousands. Some of them they are 10, but those 10 are of a unique provenance or your best quality. And I think we need to find a way to share this surfboard out there, not just to please ourselves, but to as a responsibility, because every surfboard represents the story of a shaper, the story of a surfer that maybe asked to write in pencil something important, and on the stringer of the surfboard. And I think more we are able to share and to let people know about shapers and surfers and eras. I think we achieve a greater goal to create a legacy that is going to be there forever. So
You absolutely get it, 100%. What you just spoke is you spoke my whole life right there. We have a duty, I feel, to be able to do that. And we have the ability now through, your podcast, maybe through my site, through the various different ways. The only thing I'd add to that is I'm asking people to document it correctly. If you're going to put the information out, please do your best to put the proper information out so that we can keep a clean history and a clean story of surfing. Let's stay away from politics of any sort about that. Let's stick to the basis of what the whole story is about. And it's real simple: the surfboard and the story the surfboard can tell.
exactly, I agree with you. It's so important. Bird, we're gonna finish our interview today with a short Q&A session. The best surfboard that you ever ridden?
The best surfboard that I have ever ridden is a board made by Daniel Thompson, aka Tomo. It was the first surfboard that he ever built for me, and it's a board called a Death Star.
Wow.
Very unusual board. It is something. At the time I got it, I was 55. That was about 8 years ago. Never in my life would I figure that I would be riding a 5'6" surfboard at that time. The board has a chopped nose. If you know Daniel Thompson's shape, you can find it. It looks like a Vader, if you know the Vader model or the Vanguard model, but it's a little different. But I mean, that surfboard let me do things that late in my life that I never thought I'd be able to do. And that surfboard's the best board I've ever had.
The best shaper of all time, in your opinion?
Best shaper of all time, in my opinion, would be probably my friend Bill Castor. He was just exquisite at what he did. He was a simplest. He was innovative through perfection. So he didn't jump on different trends. He would take something that worked well and always made sure that he made it work better. Very, very fine on his tuning. And he just had a natural gift. Most shapers have that. You can shape 20,000 surfboards and still not be a good shaper, in my opinion. Or I know guys that have shaped couple hundred boards, and they've got that gift. And those boards maybe don't look as good as a polished board, but they're going to ride better.
Yeah.
So, Bill Casper would be my favorite shaper.
Personal question, your favorite song?
My favorite song probably would be the soundtrack for The Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Ah, wow.
I'm a big Western fan, and I like, there's a song, actually the song in the movie, Ecstasy of Gold. It's a very, very good, well, you're Italian, you might know of, Iconi, I can't even say his name. But you go to look at the soundtrack of The Good, Bad, and the Ugly movie, and the second song from the very end is called Ecstasy of Gold. And it's extremely rousing song.
Definitely, I'm going to look at it tonight.
It's amazing.
Your favorite surf spot?
My favorite surf spot is Tavarua restaurants in Tavarua. I've been there 27, 28 times. And that whole island is fantastic, and that wave at restaurants is the ultimate for me.
The best surfer of all time, if there is one.
The best surfer of all time is the person who's having the most fun in the water. That's a safe answer.
Yeah, you're playing safe with me today.
Sure, yes, sir. But it's true. Whoever has the most fun, that's who's they're the best.
Yeah, of course, I agree with you. Maybe it will not be competing, but at least it will have great time. So that's what matters.
Yep, that's what matters.
The last question is a little bit unusual, but we ask to everybody. Has nothing to do with surf, but we want to know your best relationship advice.
That's a simple one. Just be truthful. Like we spoke about, just be straight honest with people. To have a relationship, it's all about communication and honesty. And it's not that hard to do if you think about it. It's a lot easier to be truthful, and there's nothing to run away from. If you're not truthful, then you're constantly running. You're constantly looking over your shoulders. You're constantly worried about your untruths coming back to haunt you. So being truthful and being sincere, that's a guarantee for a good relationship in anything you do in life.
I completely agree with you. Thanks a lot, Bird, for being in the podcast, the episode today. And I look forward to talk to you very soon. It's been great to talk to you. Thanks a lot.
God bless you, and I'm extremely honored.
Thank you, Bird. Bye. Hi, it's me again. I hope you enjoyed our today's episode. If you want to know more about us, please follow www.templeofsurf.com and all our social media. Mahalo!